One of the hardest things for men to grasp is that when a woman tests you, it's not rejection. It's recognition. She's not trying to push you away, she's trying to see if you can be trusted to stay. It sounds backwards because most men equate tension with disinterest. But tension in her world means emotion. If she's completely indifferent, she won't bother testing. She doesn't poke at what she doesn't care about. But the moment she starts feeling something real, her instinct kicks in, and that instinct asks one simple question: is he solid or is he pretending to be? When a woman feels something powerful, she also feels vulnerable. That vulnerability scares her more than she'll ever admit. And because she doesn't want to fall for a man who's just playing strong, she shakes the foundation to see what cracks. Her tests aren't about cruelty, they're about clarity. She's searching for stability, not just words, not charm, not surface-level confidence. She wants to feel that your calm isn't performance, that your control isn't fragile. Every sarcastic comment, every emotional pullback, every moody shift is her subconscious way of asking, can I trust this energy when things get messy? She's not testing your patience. She's testing your presence. She wants to know that your emotions aren't dependent on hers. That your masculinity doesn't dissolve under pressure. That you can hold your center even when she's losing hers. Because she knows if you can't do that in small moments, you won't be able to do it when life actually gets hard. That's what's really behind her unpredictable moods. It's not about you failing, it's about her wanting to feel safe enough to stop testing altogether. You have to understand something about feminine nature. It moves. It shifts, it flows, it questions, it feels. Her tests are emotional earthquakes designed to see if the man beside her can remain unshaken. The more she's drawn to you, the more those little earthquakes appear. Not out of malice, but out of fear of her own depth. She doesn't want to give herself to a man who breaks when she bends. So she provokes tension to watch your reaction. Do you get defensive? Do you try to win? Do you take it personally? Or do you stay calm, detached, and grounded in your truth? When you stay grounded, something inside her relaxes. It's not a conscious moment, it's primal. Her body softens. Her mind slows down. She feels your energy as stable. And stability is what unlocks her deeper self. But when you chase her validation, when you try to convince her you're good enough, she loses faith in your foundation. Because now she sees that your balance was conditional. It only existed as long as she approved of you. That's when attraction begins to fade, not because she dislikes you, but because she can't trust your center. So when she tests you, don't flinch. Don't interpret her chaos as rejection. It's communication. It's her way of saying, I feel something for you and I need to know if it's safe to keep feeling. The test isn't the problem. Your reaction is. The man who sees through the storm doesn't resist it. He stands there, calm, still, and steady, and in that stillness she sees what she's been searching for all along. Peace she can surrender to. Stability wins where theatrics fail. Being steady is not a trick you switch on. It's a lived habit. Women sense the difference between someone who performs composure and someone who actually owns it. Performance collapses under pressure because it depends on approval. Real steadiness doesn't ask for validation. It quietly exists whether anyone notices or not. Consistency is less glamorous than drama, but it builds trust faster than charm. Small, repeated acts of reliability beat grand gestures that vanish. If you show up with the same calm, the same priorities, the same boundaries, she learns your rhythm. That rhythm becomes predictable in the best way. Predictable equals safe. Safety creates space for vulnerability. Vulnerability grows into depth. Don't confuse confidence with bluster. Loudness can hide insecurity. The loudest man in the room often acts loud to mask a lack of inner anchor. The anchored man speaks less, moves with purpose, and lets his behavior do the talking. Actions cast longer shadows than words. Let your actions be proof that your center is stable. Consistency is not rigidity. It's intention. You can be adaptable without losing your core. Reacting differently to every mood kills trust. Reacting thoughtfully from a place of principle builds it. Principles are short lists of non-negotiables. Know yours. Stick to them. When she tests and you return to the same principles, she reads that as integrity. Create systems that support your steadiness. A morning routine, physical training, work discipline, and social boundaries all reinforce emotional resilience. When your inner life is organized, external storms ruffle you less. Competence in other areas of life bleeds into relationship strength. Don't outsource your stability to someone else's moods. Practice neutral responses. Silence is powerful when used deliberately. A measured pause communicates more than a rush to justify. It signals you aren't baited. Use questions that clarify rather than explain. What's happening for you? Pulls the conversation back to reality without begging for approval. Keep your sentences short and decisive. Avoid conditional affection. If your warmth depends on constant praise, it's fragile. Offer respect and presence without strings. Let gratitude and appreciation be normal, not transactional. That lowers the volatility in the interaction and makes you less reactive to her tests. Boundaries protect your baseline. Enforce them calmly. Removal of access, when needed, teaches faster than lectures. Walking away isn't weakness, it's enforcement of self-respect. Do it with dignity, not drama. She notices when you keep your standards without collapse. Admit mistakes without collapsing. Authenticity under pressure includes owning faults gracefully. A short, clear apology when deserved followed by unchanged conduct rebuilds credibility. Dragging on explanations or begging erodes your axis. Fix it not theatrically but methodically. Remember, consistency compounds. Small steady choices add up. A week of equilibrium is better than a single heroic day of composure. Over time, your consistent presence will quiet her tests because they no longer yield new information. She learns you are real. That realization is magnetic. Ultimately, stability is a habit you train, not a persona you try on. Invest in your inner architecture. Stop acting like calm is a performance and start living like it's your baseline. That's how a man becomes someone women want to trust deeply. Own your baseline every day. Storms in relationships arrive small and sudden. A sharp remark. A chilly reply. A sudden silence. They are micro moments that reveal depth, not doom. Treat them like tests of climate, not of character. Your role isn't to extinguish every spark. It's to stand steady while the weather does its work. When tension lands, slow down. Immediate reaction fuels chaos. Breathe, listen, and keep posture. Your body language speaks first. Relaxed shoulders, steady eye contact, and even voice. These things calm an escalated scene more than any explanation. Movement that matches panic is contagious. Movement that matches calm is contagious too. Make small responses that change the tone, not the story. A short remark, a playful shift, or a quiet question redirects emotional energy without capitulating. You don't need to fix her mood. You need to regulate yours. Regulated behavior lowers the temperature and keeps you in command of the interaction. Refuse the urge to rationalize feelings away. Feeling is not a debate to win. If she's upset, validate the emotion without surrendering your position. "I see you're upset" is stronger than a paragraph of justification. Naming emotion reduces its power and creates space for rational exchange later. Use curiosity as a weapon. Ask clean, simple questions that invite clarity instead of drama. "What changed for you?" Or, "Help me understand." Pull her off the stage of performance and back into the conversation. Questions shift focus from reaction to resolution. They make testing look less like sabotage and more like information. Keep rituals for resetting. A short pause, a walk, or a joke can reset momentum. Rituals don't erase conflict. They make conflict manageable. Designing moments to disengage and re-engage teaches both of you how to navigate volatility without collapse. Stay consistent with your boundaries in micro-conflict. If teasing crosses a line, call it out once and move on. If she withdraws to punish, refuse to chase. Your calm withdrawal is not coldness. It's a statement that access is privileged, not guaranteed. When you remove attention with composure, you test back in a way that preserves dignity. Don't mistake intensity for intimacy. Emotional volume can feel like connection, but it can also be drama disguised as feeling. Prioritize depth over display. Ask whether the moment is growth or merely spectacle. Growth requires steadiness. Spectacle requires reaction. Practice short, decisive disclaimers. If a comment lands wrong, A crisp correction keeps things honest. That stung. "I won't accept being spoken to like that," is far more effective than a long justification. Disclaimers re-establish standards without turning the room into an argument. Know when to escalate and when to shelter the issue. Some storms demand conversation immediately. Others benefit from time. Learn to triage. Urgent problems need immediate attention. Tone-based tests often cool with time. Triage prevents needless drama and reserves energy for real issues. Finally, model recovery. After tension passes, return to original warmth and routine without passive-aggressive ledger keeping. Show how conflict resolves by example. When you weather small storms with integrity, you teach a pattern. She learns that turbulence won't topple you, and that allows her to stop testing and start trusting. This is how deep connection grows, through repeated calm responses, not through constant drama or frantic emotional bargaining. Build this habit daily. Most men fail tests because they take them personally. They treat a probe like a verdict. That reaction makes the test succeed. Reacting proves instability faster than any argument. Stop proving what she fears. Defensiveness is a fast way to lose authority. Deflection and explanation are softer forms of collapse. They sound reasonable but they beg approval. Approval-seeking signals conditional strength. If your center needs her nod, it is not a center. Neediness shows as rapid apologies and frantic clarifications. It sounds small in the moment. Later it looks like dependence. No one wants to build on sand. Calm ownership looks like confidence. Panic looks like a hole. Men often confuse emotion for truth. They think volume equals honesty. That's lazy. Volume masks absence of backbone. Speak less. Be more. Let your actions be the testimony. Over-explaining is a slow erosion tactic. It gives the other person material to doubt. It invites more tests. Keep explanations tight and factual. Long defenses feed insecurity. Performing for her is an old trap. You act a role to win approval. Roles reveal themselves under pressure. When reality demands, roles crack. Be the man, not the actor of the man. Chasing is another common surrender. You call, text, argue, plead. Each contact is currency. Spend it wisely. When you chase, you devalue your presence. Scarcity protects dignity. Anger disguised as passion is dangerous. Rage shakes your frame. It proves you care too much about outcome. If you raise your voice, you've already lost control. Containment is not avoidance. It's mastery. Men try to fix feelings like broken objects. They offer solutions before they listen. That rush to repair cancels empathy. Start with presence. Repair comes after understanding. Allow silence to do work. Silence closes the loop on chaos. It forces clarity. Use it to collect yourself. Use it to show you're unmoved by melodrama. Mistaking manipulation for truth is common. Not every test is strategic cruelty. Some are honest probes. Learn to distinguish phishing from sabotage. Responding to every jab ratifies bad behavior. Boundarylessness invites repetition. If you accept every test without consequence, they repeat. Consequences need not be punitive. They can be proportional and quiet. A single calm consequence teaches faster than weeks of argument. Emotionally reactive men trade permanence for immediacy. They choose the short dopamine hit of attachment over the long reward of respect. Swap the pattern. Trade frantic engagement for steady presence. Commit to duration, not drama. Give credit where it's due. When she softens, acknowledge it. Not with ceremonies. With a brief nod or a quiet compliment. Recognition reinforces good exchange. Learn to retreat with dignity. Walking away is a tool, not a temper tantrum. Do it with composure. Do it with purpose. Return only when resolution is possible. Finally, know your non-negotiables and live them. They are your compass when tests arrive. Stand by them without arrogance. A man who knows his limits doesn't crumble under scrutiny. He directs the courtship with clarity, not chaos. Practice steadiness in small moments. Build muscle through tiny wins. Consistency compounds into credibility. Women respect steady progress more than grand declarations. Your life will reflect your choices. Choose to be the calm that anchors movement. This is how lasting attraction really forms. Different triggers use different tactics, but their purpose remains identical. Some probes come as silence. Others arrive as a jab disguised as humor. A text that seems minor can be a deliberate pull. A compliment turned cold can be a probe. The label changes, the intent does not. She's scanning your behavior, testing the seams. Distance is a common tactic. She pulls back and watches who reaches first. That distance is a mirror. It reflects whether your inner life needs her approval to stay steady. Teasing is another approach. Playful barbs expose whether you've got a soft spot for validation or a hard core of self-possession. Questioning your intentions is subtler. When she asks, "What do you want?" she's not always fishing for an answer. Sometimes she's seeing if your values hold when she demands clarity. Sarcasm can be used to provoke. It's cheap theater that checks your composure. Indifference is more lethal. When she acts like she doesn't care, she's measuring whether your confidence is authentic. Comparisons are tests dressed as curiosity. Bringing up an ex or a hypothetical rival forces you to show how you evaluate yourself without her approval. Each form is an invitation to reveal your blueprint of behavior. Responding effectively means understanding the tools she's using. Silence calls for presence without panic. A jab needs a calm redirect, not a comeback. When she questions motives, answer with short truths and steady posture. If she's sarcastic, keep your voice even and your intentions clear. If she's distant, don't immediately punish that distance with frantic contact. Reward centering, not spectacle. Consistency across responses builds credibility. Meet each tactic with a pattern rather than a performance. Patterns are boring to people looking for drama but reassuring to someone hunting for a partner. Your pattern should be predictable in its steadiness and unpredictable only in kindness. Small, steady reactions outmuscle dramatic gestures every time. Don't interpret every test as manipulation. Some moments are genuine fear, some are strategic. Learn to separate the two. Ask short clarifying questions when you're unsure. A direct line of curiosity reveals whether she's probing or panicking. Clarify then act. Don't let gray areas turn into overreactions. Polarity survives boundaries. Keep polarity by protecting your priorities. Make time for the life you lead. If she tries to pull you from it, show that your commitments are not negotiable. That's not stubbornness. It's shape. Shape gives a relationship form. Without shape, attraction leaks away. Be wary of passive-aggressive loops. Small punishments like the silent treatment create cycles. Break them with active composure. A simple acknowledgement or a steady withdrawal depending on the aim. Avoid tit-for-tat. Tit-for-tat escalates tests into wars. Finally, remember evolution. Tests will change as the connection deepens. Early jabs become late-stage honesty. Your strategy must mature with the relationship. Keep watching for new patterns. Adjust without abandoning your baseline. When you do, she learns her probes are no longer experiments. They are threads she can relax into. Reward consistent growth by acknowledging when she stops testing. Offer concise praise for vulnerability. Maintain rituals that reinforce safety. Over time, those rituals outvalue any single test. The man who adapts without losing his axis earns the right to deeper intimacy and lasting trust. Keep building. Strength without cruelty wins more than brute force. Be firm but do not harden into a monk. Gentle power holds space, brutal power breaks it. You want strength that invites, not intimidates. Kindness does not equal weakness. Being humane under pressure proves character. Use warmth as a strategic tool, not a surrender. Softness anchored by resolve disarms chaos. Speak with economy. Short sentences land harder than paragraphs. Let one line cut through noise and mean everything. Verbosity dilutes authority. Be present in tone and body. Lean in subtly when she speaks. Don't overdo it. Hands relaxed. Voice measured. Eye contact purposeful. Presence itself acts as a steadying force. Avoid the false choice between tenderness and toughness. Be both at the same time. Show care while maintaining standards. The contrast is compelling. Practice calibrated compassion. Acknowledge pain without rescuing it. You can honor feelings and still keep your limits. That balanced response teaches trust. Don't confuse sparing words with emotional absence. Concise expressions can carry depth. A single honest sentence can heal more than a flood of excuses. Choose precision over performance. Let your boundaries be quiet and obvious. State them clearly and move on. When a line is crossed, enforce it with calm consequences. No drama. No proselytizing. Just follow through. Model composure when she escalates. If she raises volume, reduce yours. If she storms, become steady. Your equilibrium acts like a compass. She reads it. Practice respectful withdrawal. Sometimes the strongest act is to remove yourself with dignity. Walk away to preserve integrity, not to punish. Return when clarity and respect are possible. Turn correction into guidance, not punishment. A corrective line delivered cleanly reframes the moment. It's not about shaming, it's about preserving mutual respect. Let correction with clarity and minimal words. Offer safety without suffocating. Give space for her to feel and be wrong. Allow mistakes without losing your axis. Safety grows when you are stable, not when you enable chaos. Keep rituals that demonstrate care. Small, consistent actions matter. A message, a plan, a routine, these say you show up. Reliability becomes a softer form of strength. Refuse to weaponize silence. Use silence as clarity, not as ammunition. Cold withdrawal designed to wound is cowardice. Silence with purpose shows mastery. Let your calm be attractive, not passive. A man who carries steady energy invites vulnerability. Stability kindles surrender more than persuasion. Make your presence a refuge. Show humility and power. Admit when you're wrong and correct your course. Power trusted without humility becomes tyranny. Humility keeps strength credible. Be decisive with compassion. Decisions made slowly invite chaos. Decisions made harshly invite resentment. Decisive kindness resolves tension without destroying dignity. Teach by example. Correct your behavior before correcting hers. Be the standard you expect. When you lead from the inside, others follow willingly. Finally, remember that softness refines strength. The man who balances heart and backbone creates real authority. Not loud. Not brittle. Quietly unshakable. That is the posture that wins lasting respect. Invest daily in the small practices that sustain you. Sleep, discipline, truthful reflection, and controlled habits. Over years, these tiny choices build an unbreakable axis. When pressure comes, your life structure bears the load. Build your life so testing becomes routine, not a threat. Stay relentless. The safer she feels, the more she will probe. Safety invites risk. When a woman believes you won't break, she tests the edge to see how sharp you really are. That's not malice. It's curiosity driven by attachment. She wants contrast. She wants a man who is available and unmoved at the same time. Polarity is a living thing. It needs tension to breathe. If you agree with everything and erase friction, attraction quiets. If you're raw anger or perpetual withdrawal, polarity dies too. The goal is a steady edge, clear limits wrapped in authentic warmth. That combination creates electric pull, not coercion. When she pushes for proof, resist the urge to soften into submission. Submission yields short-term peace and long-term disrespect. Hold an honest line. Be firm about priorities and tender about feelings. That is how you keep interest alive without becoming brittle. Intensity without integrity crashes quickly. If you manufacture drama to create spark, you cheat the relationship of substance. Real intensity comes from commitment to values and a willingness to stand for them. Intensity should illuminate character, not camouflage insecurity. Keep curiosity in rotation. Ask direct questions about what she's feeling and why she's testing. Curious questions pull the motive into daylight. When you ask with calm, the test loses power because it no longer functions as a secret trap but as shared data. Use scarcity intelligently. Availability is attractive when balanced with presence. Don't be absent to win attention. Be selectively present to signal value. Being everywhere dilutes desire. Hold your habits sacred. Routine anchors behavior. When you maintain projects, friendships, you signal that your life is whole. A whole life makes you less susceptible to panic when she probes. Learn to reframe abrupt behavior. If she pulls away, don't narrate catastrophe. Treat it like feedback. Ask one clear question, wait for an answer, and respond with plan or boundary. Turning tests into small negotiations reduces escalation and increases trust. Don't mistake softness for submission. You can be generous and still be uncompromising about values. Generosity without backbone invites exploitation. Backbone without generosity invites loneliness. Carry both. When polarity tests escalate, use two tools: pause and proportionality. Pause long enough to collect yourself. Proportionality means matching consequence to breach without drama. Small infractions get calm correction. Serious violations require removal of access until respect returns. Lean into calm unpredictability. Predictable kindness with an unpredictable edge keeps attraction dynamic. Surprise her with competence, not sudden emotional swings. Let your unpredictability be competence-based. New skills, new goals, fresh plans, not mood-based volatility. Acknowledge her when she lowers the armory. When she shows vulnerability after testing, give short recognition. Don't perform an elaborate reconciliation. A brief statement of appreciation normalizes safety and curbs future testing. Teach by distance, not lecture. Sometimes stepping back quietly communicates standards more effectively than a speech. When you withdraw respectfully, you give space for reflection. When you return as the same man, not an apologetic actor. Finally, remember that evolution is the rule. Early probes become honest inquiries later. Your response must mature with the relationship. Stay consistent, sharpen your edge gently, and reward real softness with steady presence. Over time, that balance turns testing into trust and tension into depth. Passing tests is not about flawless performance. It's about being the same man before, during, and after pressure lands. Authenticity under strain wins longer than flawless moments designed for applause. Women notice when composure is habitual, not rehearsed. They feel the difference in small things: a steady reply, a consistent schedule, the same tone when plans shift. Those micro-choices add up into a presence that cannot be faked. You don't earn surrender by proving you're unbreakable. You earn it by showing you are reliably human. Admit limits quickly. Fix problems quietly. Return to your baseline. The goal is not to eliminate conflict but to remain unchanged by it. That steadiness reads as safety. Safety becomes permission to open. When tests escalate, keep answers short and purposeful. Long defenses invite more questions. Crisp responses cut through drama and give the interaction form. If she seeks to rattle you, give her less material to use. A calm, minimal answer deflates bait. It turns a test into a single datum, not a campaign. Let consequence be your language when words fail. Consequences do not mean punishment. Consequences are the natural results of behavior. If respect erodes, reduce access. If trust rebuilds, restore presence. Move with dignity. Withdrawal teaches faster than debates because it removes attention from the experiment. Make your life the thing that proves you. Maintain projects, friendships, and routines that are not contingent on her mood. A life with texture communicates value. It also makes you less likely to overreact. When your calendar is full of meaning, a testing text is merely noise. She senses that width and shapes her behavior accordingly. Practice the art of the controlled retreat. A brief, composed exit from a heated moment signals ownership of your emotional space. Don't do it out of spite. Do it to prevent escalation and to model calm. Reentry should be measured. Return as the same man, not a man changed by anxiety. Celebrate small passing moments without spectacle. When she softens after a test, acknowledge it with a measured compliment or a small gesture. Gratitude for vulnerability reproduces vulnerability. You don't have to make a scene. A quiet nod of recognition is enough to teach safety is reciprocated. Check your motives before you react. Are you trying to win approval? Are you trying to be liked? Those impulses fold into neediness. Instead, react from principle. Let your baseline be a set of values that guide responses. Values free you from the tyranny of mood. Polarity thrives when you keep contrast alive. Be available but not accessible. Be tender but not malleable. Hold your edge with compassion. The friction between those states is where attraction grows. Don't confuse constant agreement with closeness. Dissent sharpened by respect creates depth. Finally, understand that passing test is iterative. It isn't a single triumph but a steady series of confirmations. Every calm reaction compounds trust. Over months, small wins become a new default. She stops testing because doing so gives her no new information. That is when real intimacy begins. Keep practicing these habits daily. Consistency is the quiet weapon that transforms fleeting attraction into something that lasts for life. Stay steady always. If this helped you, hit subscribe and keep sharpening your presence.